Hi there, my name's Darren Hull and I'm the Managing Director of Dude and Arnette. I landed in this business 35-40 years ago, met a fantastic chap called David Holmes who was the owner of the Holmes Builders.
David Holmes was my husband and he worked for his uncle Sid Holmes, starting off maintaining council houses and then going on to Oast Cowls. We know that Arthur Brooks, who was my dad, trained David Holmes, who I married, to make the Oast Cowls. He used to do them, and then when he got older, he couldn't go up to the top to get them off, because he used to have to go up with ladders and pull them up by rope. And he fell off the gantry once and he broke both his ankles. So that's when, I think, David took over as Holmes Builders.
So I met David through his daughter. I met his daughter one weekend and never left.
Yeah, David and I had 3 daughters, and the oldest one met Darren, started going out with Darren, then they got married and he came into the family. That's how we met Darren, and that's how Darren took over the business when David retired.
I worked up in London for a little while and racing cars and whatever, and then David said to me, why don't you come out and come cowling at the weekends? And I thought, I better do it. And then went out one weekend with the chaps in the vans, all done with block and tackle by hand, and loved every minute of it. In those first 4 years, I would say, he taught me how to build an Oast Cowl properly, how to pitch a roof, how to tile a roof, and it was great. It was like going to work with your mate every day. So when I worked with David, it was called Holmes Builders. That was an old established firm. As time progressed, we decided to give it a new lease of life and change the name. At the time, we wanted to bring Holmes Builders into the 21st century, but still be artisan. And so that's why that's how the name evolved, really. So it was just a fresh start. Right, so here we go, working with my son, working with Brandon. Absolutely brilliant, mate. It's like winning a lottery every day. He's really good. He's probably a better cowl maker than I ever was. And he brings a new direction, which I was obviously trying to take the company one way, and then he's taking it another way, and then obviously so we don't always agree, but we always sort of have a little workout, and it all ends up going in the right directions.
My earliest memory of working with Oast Cowls, it's quite hard to say really, because I remember really early on going to my granddad's yard and walking through there and seeing my dad working in there, and granddad out the back with stacks of paper in his office and like absolute carnage. But I remember vividly them all working in the workshop, and that's probably my earliest memory of Oast Cowls. I think I love the history of it. I love that when I'm working on something, it's been worked on by my dad, it's been worked on by my granddad, it's been worked on by my great-granddad, and we're always finding little hidden gems inside roofs, like there might be something written on there from years ago when they're working on it, so you see their name, and it's feels like you're working with history. It's nice.
So for me, I'd like to keep it exactly the way it is right now. You've got people that are specialists in what they do, but as it is in timber, with a decent paint and with the skills, we can keep these things alive forever. And I think that's the way forward, not to try and make it something that's the resemblance of what's there now, is just to keep it as it is.
And I also just want to keep the heritage of the English countryside. The last thing I'd want is them to start being capped off or something like that. So I just want to work with people in keeping it all alive. So this is my son, Sully, and hopefully he's the next generation.
Brilliant. You didn't see it, did you?
Yawned, didn't it?